FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 10/20/20. Well, we know what's going on now, the economic crisis that has unfolded. What you probably aren't thinking, but you should, is that in every disaster, every crisis, there are winners and there are losers. And you've got to make sure that you and your family are winners. And that requires a whole nother mindset. And that's why I've been bringing you guests that are explaining the opportunities that are available and how you can take advantage of them. Hey, in the meantime, I'd like to know how you're sitting, what your thoughts are about this financial calamity, collapse that we've encountered over the past 6 months. Why don't you send me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Well, Chris Craddock is with us now. And, well, Chris, real estate obviously is your thing, but you're CEO, founder of the Redux Group out of Northern Virginia. And really your forte at the present time is distressed properties. And you sold over 120 million in volume last year. So you're the guy to talk to how to become a winner in this market as a real estate investor. Appreciate you coming on. So what's your take on this? How do you set yourself up to become a winner?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, if you want to win in this market, I mean, I think life is like Monopoly, right? You win when you buy real estate. So that's it. Like, you don't win in Monopoly if you're not buying real estate. And you look at all the different pieces with it. The government incentivizes you to buy real estate. So, if you're able to defer or push taxes off because of the tax incentives when you're buying residential properties, I think that's one of the best things that you can do right there. And then, just at the end of the day, you've got so many different pieces: the tax advantage, the low interest rates, the government subsidized low interest rates. There's so many different places. You've got your appreciation. You've got somebody else living in your properties, paying down your income. Or your principal payments. So there's a lot of reasons why real estate is just a great place to be and a great place to put your money.
Hey, so where do you start here? Assuming you haven't been doing this long or you're just getting started, what do you do? Yeah,
well, hey, I think the best thing you can do any place is get a roadmap, a color by numbers roadmap. And so, you got to find a coach. I mean, there's organizations like Wholesaling Inc. Where they'll teach you how to find deals. But you've just gotta find a coach. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about the importance of real estate, some of the different ways that you can win, just in the real estate niche. That would be kind of the deal. But you find a real estate agent that understands investment at a high level. That's another piece right there, because there's everybody's brother's uncle is a real estate agent. So you're not just finding a real estate. Let's be honest, most real estate agents are terrible. So, you got to find somebody that knows what they're talking about.
And so how would you go about finding one of these people?
Well, I guess you need to start asking some questions. Do they own rental properties? How many investor properties have they done? Can they walk you through why investing in real estate is a better option? Do they have, here's one of the biggest questions you got to ask. Do you have access to off-market properties, and how? And if they don't give you an answer that passes the sniff test, then you got to find somebody else, because the second something's hit the MLS, the deal is dead, because there's going to be too many people that are looking for deals there.
Right. So you don't start at the MLS. MLS is to be avoided. And where do agents find these deals?
They'll do their own marketing, their networking. So that's it. Their own marketing and their networking. We'll send out direct mail. We'll send out pay-per-click advertising. I'm personally tied in with almost all of the other major investors here in the area. So I can put out an ISO in search of, call for stuff in certain neighborhoods or certain price points or whatever. So those are the kind of things that you need to look for in your market.
And how much money do you need to get started in this? this?
Well, it all depends. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can do it differently. It depends on what your strategy is. So there's something called wholesaling, where people can wholesale a deal where, it doesn't take much money at all if you find the deal. You can partner with somebody. But here's the question, Kerry. I mean, so do you have an iPhone or do you have a Android?
I'm pretty much an iPhone guy. I have to admit, it served me well, and particularly for media projects. I found the Apple platform to be better, but I guess it doesn't really matter for our purposes, does it?
No, not at all. So, but if I were to say, hey, I've got this iPhone 10 Max, with the biggest memory it has, I'm sure I could sell it for like $750 online right now because it's fairly new. Would you buy it for $100?
Yeah, of course, assuming that it wasn't locked or a counterfeit like I once bought in China. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and why would you buy it for $100?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Is if you can find the deal, anybody that can find the deal. If you want to start in real estate, you got to just have access to the deals. Right? This iPhone, like you have a phone, you don't need this phone, right? It's not need based that you would buy this phone. It's because heck, if I'm selling you this phone under market, you'll buy it because you could do something with it because it's got intrinsic equity in the phone, and real estate is much more so than that. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Find the deals, whether it's, people that are distressed. There's something called driving for dollars, drive around your neighborhood and look for properties that are in distress or disorder and just go knock on the door and leave a note on their door and just say, hey, I'd like to buy your property. And the second you find something that is way under market, I mean, heck, you could reach out to me. I mean, if you don't have a buyer to buy it, somebody that with a little bit of cash that would buy it, I mean, heck, I would do it. If the deal's a deal, like just like you, Kerry, you already have a phone, but if I were to offer you a $750 phone for $100, you're going to buy it. You're going to find a way to make that work, even though you don't have a need for it. A deal's a deal. So that's it. If you have the deal, the money shows up.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. The deal is there and it's something you really want to do. You'll find a way to do it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us some people that you've worked with, that you've helped them get into the space and become a success at it.
Yeah, I've helped a number of people. I mean, heck, I was just talking to somebody earlier this morning who is jumping in. He's like 23 years old and jumping into the space. So, I mean, the real key here is to to find people that are motivated and really want to win, because it's not easy, right? If success was easy, everybody would do it. And so I never promise that it's easy. But, the real key here is, you've got to jump in and you got to fight hard to win. And so, what as I've talked to people over and over again, the key here is, are you willing to put in the activity? Right? Talk to enough people, because even if you're a terrible salesperson, I don't care how bad you are. If you talk to 1,000 people a day, you will get deals. So activity, and you'll outperform a great salesperson that talks to 5 people a day. So activity and skill. Skill is the other side. What are you doing so that you talk to enough people and then you know what you're saying when you talk to them? And if you can level up on both your activity and your skill, then you'll be able to jump in. And you'll be able to do a lot of business in this space.
All right. Well, that makes total sense there. And all right. So I make the decision. I'm going to do it. What's the first thing I should do?
First thing you should do is, you got to find a mentor, right? You find somebody in your space, find somebody, like I said, there's Wholesaling Inc. There's just so many different platforms, but you got to find a mentor, because bottom line is you want somebody that's going to help you compress decades into days, right? Like you don't want to learn on your own. That's called paying the stupid tax, right? When you learn the lesson on your own, you want other people to pay that tax for you. And because they have. So you learn from other people's mistakes. You learn how to compress the time. You learn how to cut the edge, and be able to get where you want to go faster. And then you decide what route you want to take. Is it cold calling? Is it driving for dollars? Is it direct mail? Is it networking and working with other investors? You find that route that you want to take, and then you just run. You go all in and you go after it, and that's it. I mean, that's simply it. I mean, you just gotta hustle. You can't teach hustle.
All right. So this is a case where usually I say he who waits gets everything, but this is a case where you really have to get out there. You can't just wait around for it to happen. You have to make it happen.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think you've given us a good primer to this, and just give us an example of like a couple of deals that you've seen, or you've done yourself recently, where you've really done a nice deal, scored big. Yeah,
sure. I've got one where somebody called me. It was a new, she was a new investor. She called me up and said, "Hey, I've got a deal, and it's 4 units, and I think I can make like 12 to 15 grand if I sold it right now, but wanted you to take a look at it." And I looked at it and I'm like, "You could make 100 grand, or close to it. You probably like around 75 for sure." And she's like, "Really?" I thought, "Hey, okay." And so we looked at it. So this was like a joint partnership. And I looked at it and I helped her package the deal so we could get it done. And yes, she went from thinking she was going to make 12 grand, and we ended up splitting the deal. And she ended up walking away with 36, and I walked away with 36. And she was really, really happy because we just found a way to get the deal out there to a bigger, wider audience rather than the 5 people that she thought might have bought it from her.
So if I find a deal, or if anybody out there listening right now finds a great deal, they can contact you and you'll help them make it a reality?
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Osino Resources is a Ross Beatty-backed gold exploration company in mining-friendly Namibia. Osino's district-scale land package is situated near 2 producing gold mines, one of which Osino's management team previously developed and sold to B2 Gold. Osino's founders and management are experienced mining professionals who have already successfully developed and sold 2 companies in the past 7 years. Osino has a tight share structure, and with its current treasury, it can self-fund the advancement of its gold discovery into at least 2022. This is an exploration company with drills turning that you'll definitely want to pay attention to. Osino trades in New York under the ticker OSIIF and in Toronto under the ticker OSI. To learn more, go to OsinoResources.com. That's OsinoResources.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. DM me. I'm, Craddock on Instagram, CRADDROCK, and or at my website, reach out, and chriscraddock.com. Reach out, and yeah, we'd be happy to help you figure out how to do it. But it's got to be a good deal. It's got to be an actual deal. But yeah, most people don't know what to do with it, especially if they don't have the cash to buy it themselves and then redo the deal.
Well, I always say where there's a will, there's a lawyer, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you got to have the desire to do this. You really have to want to. Based on what you're saying here, it's like you're not dealing with tenants and toilets, right? You're not dealing with repairs and other issues. I guess you might have to put in some money to rehab it. Oftentimes, these distressed properties have been let go and the maintenance has been deferred. So you might have to put some money into fixing them up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you do. But I mean, the best is when you can sell them off market as is or sell them on market as is. So, I mean, so that's how we did that deal. We just sold it strictly as is. And, there's another one that was really similar to that we did over in Baltimore as well. The guy brought it to me. It was also 4 different properties, not a 4-unit, 1 property. And it was almost identical, where he thought he was going to make a lot less. I helped him make a whole lot more. And and it was all said and done as is, didn't do a single thing to it. Now, that's still just a paycheck. In the long run, you're going to want to own properties because that's where wealth is made.
And cash flowing properties, right?
Exactly. And and that's where you get your tax savings and all the other different things from there. But yeah, when you know that your cash flow, I mean, I tell the story all the time. My grandmother, she passed a few years ago, but she was amazing. And she had a number of properties that brought in about $17,000 a month. Well, she was in an assisted care, like a high-end assisted care facility, cost her about $13,000 a month to be there. But the crazy thing is her cash flow literally covered all of it. So she was making her net worth was going up by $4,000 every single month, even though she was in a wheelchair in an assisted living, because she had these other properties that were just bringing in money every single month.
Yeah, well, I heard a funny saying the other day that when you go, you don't get to take a U-Haul with you, so better enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to just talk to you about the real estate market in general, and maybe I should have started off this way. But to any outsider, once the COVID-19 induced economic collapse hit, the last thing anyone was expecting was a boom in real estate. And we've got millions of people who are in forbearance on their mortgages, at least until probably March, April, and maybe a little longer because they get a 1-year forbearance. What's going to happen when the forbearance period runs out? Are we going to see a huge number of foreclosures, or will the market gone up so much that they'll be able to sell their homes and get some equity out?
Well, I think I think we're going to have a little catch up on foreclosures. But I guess what we'll likely see, this is my, just my guess, is inventory is so low. There's so many more buyers than sellers. The builders never caught up after the 2008 boom. So inventory hasn't gone up. The other thing is because interest rates are so low, a lot of times in the past, it used to be where you had to sell your previous house to move into the next one. But because interest rates are low and the economy's been so good over the last few years that so many people haven't had to sell their old property to move into a new property, so they could keep their last property, move into the next one, which I'm seeing so much more often now than ever in the past. And there's so many renters out there that it just makes sense. Anybody that's smart is going to say, well, let me hold on to as much property as I can. And, these people are going to pay off their own property or pay off somebody else's property. Might as well be mine, right? And so there's actually a stand-up comedian, I can't even remember who he was, but he was like, man, look at all these millennials. They're walking around like they rent the place. It's just
That's great.
Millennials are renting and not buying. And we know that the net worth of people that own real estate is so much higher than people that don't. So it's just a no-brainer.
That's so true. And I'm going to use that. Yeah, I find the whole thing really fascinating because it's the exact opposite of what happened in 08 and 09. Because of the forbearance, people are able to stay in their homes. But I've talked to a lady by the name of Debbie Bloyd. She's a mortgage broker in Dallas, Texas. Her business is taken off like she can't believe. She's had to get people working out of her home. She's had to hire people, and she can't keep up with the demand. It seems like there's no shortage of mortgage money here, especially FHA with 3.5% down. No shortage to be acquiring homes.
Oh yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, yeah, it's a no-brainer. You should get in and listen. I used to do ministry for a long time in a previous life, and so I mentored and coached a lot of young people that when they got out, and taught a lot of guys how to essentially house hack, which is just incredible, where they could get out, they could get an FHA loan, get into a place, or get a grant, right? There's these first-time homebuyer grants. Get into a place, rent out the other rooms in their house, and basically live for free. Then as soon as they get that stabilized, move to the next house, get a 3% conventional, and get all the places done, and then live for free. And you can do up to 10 government-backed loans with almost nothing down. They'll allow you to get up to 10 of them. And so all these guys were just buying a house, getting it rented, boom, moving to the next one, moving to the next one. And with it, you see massive appreciation. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars of appreciation since they've started. Other people are paying down their mortgage principal, so that's going down, and they're getting the tax benefits of owning these properties. It's just it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I totally am with you on it. Hey, again, Chris, just tell us how we find you again on the web.
Yeah, so two ways. You can DM me on Instagram, Craddock, Craddrock. Follow me, DM me, whatever on there. Also my website, chriscraddock.com. You can do that. And if you're in real estate, I've got a Facebook page, Uncommon Real Estate, as you see on my backdrop here. You can join that if you're in real estate. That's more towards a traditional agent, teaching them how to be uncommon, because again, like I said, most agents aren't good. So if you're gonna go into business and find an agent, you need to find one of those uncommon agents that are training and working to really be good, because that person will help you increase your net worth dramatically if you partner with the right person.
Yeah, it's so funny what you say. We have in Palm Beach County, where I live, over 30,000 real estate agents. That was the last number I heard. It's probably up to 35 now. And I can't believe that a third of them are making a living. Having been an attorney all these years and having dealt with realtors on many occasions. Anyway, I'll let that speak for itself. Hey, if you got any questions for Chris or myself, and I'd like to know what your real estate situation is. Are you behind on a mortgage? Do you need to make a move? Can help you out, just email me, kl@kerrylutz.com. And hey, on the other hand, if you're looking for opportunities, like I said at the beginning in the intro, in an economic disaster like we've witnessed here, there are winners and there are losers. Back in 08 and 09, I didn't have a winner's mindset. This time I've got a winner's mindset, and it's paid off in spades for me. It's been an amazing time. And then you'll be in a position you can help others. So go check out the site, financialsurvivalnetwork.com, the Twitter feeds @Kerry Lutz, Facebook page, Financial Survival Network. Chris, we'll definitely be talking to you again. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Kerry.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.